We got it. We're working it. Well, hello, everyone. This is Crystal Lynn with Crystal Lynn Astrology coming to you from Southern California. So I'm really happy to be here tonight. We're going to have some more fun. Wednesday nights have really become a very fun time just talking astrology, learning about astrology, doing some trivia. And of course, astrology can take us much deeper. And that's where a reading is really, really powerful because then you can ask very, very specific questions. So tonight, I'm doing a lot of general astrology. And for those of you out there who are astrologers or who really study astrologer, don't go away. This is fun because we're going to be tapping on all kinds of stuff. And I want to hear from you guys too. Life gets so serious, doesn't it? And sometimes we forget that astrology is really a fun tool. It's a tool that we can use to actually, get in timing in our life, to understand the things that are going on. And so it keeps us in alignment, even the difficult things in life, because we're not going to get out of difficult situations. It's learning how to use our power and our intention and our, focus to get through things. So I have found astrology to be a very useful tool, that we can use. Okay, so hello, everybody coming in. I want to say hi. I see everybody coming in. Let me get my YouTube going here. I hope you guys are all doing really well tonight. Let's see what is going on. Okay, I've got to turn down the volume. All right, very good. Hello, Carrie. All my regulars, thank you. Hi, Deborah. I'm a Taurus sun with a Scorpio rising. Ooh. That's very dynamic. Let's see who else is coming in. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We've got some Facebook. We've got Instagram. And so this is a fun time to, again, just come together and learn some life skills. At the end of the day, I'm always looking for life skills to help me get through life and see life in a better way. So here we go. I also tonight would like to work on trivia that is relationship based. A lot of people have asked in the previous comments, what about Cancer and say Aries together, or, Virgo and Sagittarius, So tonight we're going to talk about that. So I really want your feedback if you guys have any questions about specific combinations. Now, remember, although we're talking about some basic understanding of astrology, when you actually pull up a birth chart based on the day and time you were born, by the way, no two are alike. This is what I consider like your fingerprint in the sky. There's a whole combination of things that are happening, not just your sun sign, but your sun sign is the most dynamic. And so if you are interested in learning more about how to read a chart or how to understand your chart, go to my Facebook, Crystal Lynn Astrology, and leave me a private message, and we will get information to you. We will be updating you about our future classes, which I'm so excited about. So where I can go deeper into astrology for those of you who really want to go deeper, okay? So go ahead and message me, say I'm interested, and that way you will be first to be notified when things are going on. Okay, so that's good. All right, you guys. So what are we going to start with today? Rory, I have a problem emailing you. I'm the winner from last week and haven't been able to get my free reading. Can I just give you my email here? You can, but I'll have to make sure somebody gets it. Or Crystal Lynn Astrology. And for those of you who have gotten free readings, this is a process. I do have a list that I'm getting to, so you are on the list. And it's going to be over the next couple of weeks that I'm inviting you on to a Facebook Live with me, giving you your readings.
How to message the Facebook page.
Okay, if you can message my Facebook page, that is the best way to give me your information. Okay, if you have any problem with that, let me know. But you're not forgotten. Okay, we're just getting to everyone, and I do a few a week. Okay, so hang in there on that. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Hello, Anissa. Let's see, we've got our Facebook here. Let's see. Taurus and Capricorn versus a Taurus and Virgo together. What's the better combination? Well, that's a good question. So, first of all, when we're looking at the signs, we have to understand that each sign carries a theme in their life. Also, it's how different people see the world through different eyes. That's why so many times if you meet someone and they just don't get it like you get it, or you feel like, but they don't, or they have such a different way of thinking. Well, that's what makes the world go around. And astrologically, things have been set up for that. So when I'm looking at a sign or two combinations of signs, there's a few things that I'm going to look for. So let's start with this question. It's a really good question. So first of all, let's break it down, because that's what Virgos do best. I'm a Virgo. So Taurus and Capricorn. So Taurus and Capricorn, the first thing we're going to look at is that they're both earth signs. It's important to know that, what each sign, what element each sign is. So when you have two earth signs, first of all, that can be a really strong combination. There's certain things that they have in common. What are they? Well, earth signs always represent making money, okay? The earth signs are really focused on money, security. A Taurus is focused on security. A Capricorn might be focused on retirement. So these things are really good. Although, you want to also look at the fact Capricorns, because they are able to build from the ground up and they see things in such an order, they can also be controlling, because they control their world. That's how they become successful. Being successful, you've got to have a plan. You've got to have a business plan to some degree. And Capricorns it's really important to them that they keep their schedules, that, many of them are workaholics. So if you have a Capricorn in your life, realize that work is the main focus. Taurus also is a worker, and they're a little more stubborn. So it's the bull. So they don't really want anybody telling them what to do. So you've got a Capricorn that might be a little controlling, and you've got a Taurus that doesn't want anybody to tell them what to do. So how do we put these two together? The good thing is, when you have a relationship like this, if you focus on the positive things, that is, they're going to build a really strong life together. They have the ability to really provide security and have that house, have that, the green grass and the 2-car garage and, all of those things. So when they work together, they're building something great and they're providing security. Now, I think the other question was versus Taurus and Virgo. So Virgo is the third earth sign, or the second. It goes Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So when you understand these earth signs, what you want to look at is this. Taurus is really the one that's planting the seeds. When you think of that garden in the spring, before it grows, they're out there, they've got that green thumb, and they're planting. And they're watching that little bit of, growth. They're so excited when they get that little spurt of growth, okay? And they're planning for the rest of the year. Now, Virgo, as an earth sign, is more scrappy, okay? They're the ones who know how to make an empire, on a childhood dream or hobby. They're more the entrepreneurs. They're more the ones that make something good out of, it's like one man's, treasures. I don't know how that goes. One man's, what is that? What is that saying? Is another man's treasure. There's a word for that. But so Virgos are going to be a little more, again, seeing things very detailed. They are controlling as well, because they try to control their little world so that, because they see in such details. So that can irritate a Taurus because they really see more in terms of comfort, in terms of, security. They don't like to make unnecessary moves. Some people say, oh, Taurus is lazy. It's not necessarily lazy. It is the fact that they don't want to waste their energy. They want to save it for the really important things. Where Virgos can be running around like, chicken with its head cut off. So these are just some things to look at. So, is one better than the other? Not necessarily. It's just what area do you want, what areas do you want to deal with in relationships? Is that something you can work at? A Virgo is going to really, bring out the best in someone because they want to see them be their best. They'll give anything to fix them and make them their best and encourage them to be their best. So, these are powerful, positive things as well. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Let's take a look here. Anybody else have a question about relationships? 2 different signs. Deborah, my son is a Capricorn, very serious Saturn. Yes, Capricorns are serious. And so sometimes people feel like in relationships that, they're not showing me any emotion. Well, Saturn isn't very emotional, and that's what rules Capricorn. And so, but at the same time, you want that oak tree in your life. You want that best friend, the one that's going to be stable and always there for you. There's your Capricorn and protect you. So it's like learning to look at all of the different aspects of each sign, okay? So there you go on that. Let's see if anybody, oh, there you go. One man's treasure, trash is another man's treasure. Thank you. I know that. I always say that, but some reason, still coming out of this Mercury retrograde, okay? So thank you for that. Appreciate it. That'll drive me crazy. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Anybody else have a specific question? Let's see. Aquarius and Leo together. Okay, that's a good question. Now, again, we're learning astrology, so we just found out that the earth signs, are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, so we kind of understanding that. Now we're going to look at what's considered an opposition, okay? The opposite. So when you look at the zodiac wheel, when you see Leo, the exact opposite of Leo is going to be Aquarius. And so they're 2 radically different signs, but yet they really, really need each other. Opposites really need each other. It's kind of like, remember Tom Cruise, You Complete Me? Remember that movie? And so in a relationship, it's like, in a way, it can complete you. But again, an opposition also creates a little bit of tension because it's like stretching each other to something that they're not comfortable with. So Leo is definitely more outward. They want to brag and they want to show everybody what's going on and what they have and all the good things that are happening. It's not even necessarily a bad thing, like we use the word brag, but they're just excited. They want to share. They want to manifest good things. They usually want to be more out there in the public. They have the ability to brand something, very good at branding. So like you see Jennifer Lopez, Madonna, Martha Stewart, those type of Leo women they have the perfume line, the jewelry line, the music. They're branding their name. So the Aquarius, on the other hand, doesn't really care about all that stuff. But they are amazing inventors. They know how to invent things. They know how to create things. They know the trends before they happen. But because a lot of times the Aquarius kind of gets the title of kind of the nerdy scientist kid, the one that's in there doing science and not caring about what anybody else is doing. They're that rebel without a cause sometimes. At the same time, the Aquarius really needs the Leo. Otherwise, they don't push themselves to get out in the world, to get out there and share their amazing amazing products that they're making, their amazing ideas. Aquarius is an air sign, okay? So they think with their head, all right? They're more up in their head. Again, sometimes people say the air signs aren't very emotional, but they're thinkers. They don't operate from their emotions, they operate from their mind. And so that's why a lot of times, in different signs, you feel like, gosh, I wish they'd show me more of themselves. But when you have the air signs, they're more thinking it out. Now, Leo is a fire sign. So Leo is much more fiery. So you've got fire and air. So you see how we can start putting these connections together? What happens when you have fire and air? So fire and air can really create a big firestorm if you're not careful. Okay. But at the same time, it can create a beautiful fire that's just the air's perfect and working together. And you can warm your hands and you can really be inspired. So that's just a few things on those two signs. But I do think that they can bring so much together and bring each other, to really be their best. So those two signs do that for each other. So, okay, let's see what else is going on around here. See what other questions we might have. Anybody else? Let's see. Let me just check what's going on. Okay, Heather, she is asking about Cancer and Virgo. Okay, so here's another cool thing about the signs. So we're learning, for example, I'm just recapping, that there's what's called a trine, a triangle. Okay, so our earth signs such as Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are in this trine, this triangle. Well, this trine is very harmonious. There's a blessing there. There's a connection there. Oppositions, there's more tension. But still, in that tension, there can come out great things. You just have to work harder for it. The other really good relationship connection is what's called a sextile. A sextile is two signs away. So Cancer and Virgo are a sextile, right? So there's Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So Cancer and Virgo are two signs away. That's a harmonious connection. There's something about that creates a lot of harmony. Now, a Cancer is what? They're going to want to have that home. Again, another sign that needs security, but they're very emotional. They operate from their intuition, from their emotions. They can be, sidetracked with where their emotions are leading them, where their intuition is leading them. So they don't really like to be controlled by others. Although a Cancer really does have a strong kind of controlling aspect in terms of, creating their home and creating their environment. Now, Virgo, being an earth sign, okay, again, they're really also from their head, but you've got water and you've got earth, okay? So water and earth, what does that make? I say that it makes mud. And if you think about mud, even though that sounds like, oh, mud has been used from ancient times as a healing agent for, all kinds of things. Even in our day-to-day, we can go out to spas that we can go sit in the mud, and it brings out impurity. So I really like water and earth signs together. They can be very healing. But mud can also get stagnant, you know what I mean? And mud can get kind of, stagnant, and it's not getting oxygen to it. So you want to be careful. Virgo's going to want to be more picky and want to know why the Cancer's doing everything they're doing. Why are you doing this? What are you doing? And the Cancer really does, again, when you have the water signs, they operate from their intuition. So they don't always have a real reason why. So these are just some dynamics that we can put together. But generally, I really like Cancer and Virgo energy. I think that they build a strong home together. They're both family orientated. They're very good friends. There's a lot of good things. Okay, so those are just a few things. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Just trying to, let's see here. Let me check what we got here. Hang with me, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Anissa. Thank you, Chris, for sharing in 6 groups. You guys remember, if you don't mind, if you can share, like and comment, and share what's going on here, really gets this channel out and about and gets a lot more energy to it, which is what makes it so fun. Okay. Let's see. Can you tell me about, this is Instagram. Can you tell me about Aquarius and Libra? My ex is an Aquarius and I'm a Libra and I'm having a hard time getting over him. Okay. So here we have 2 air signs. Okay. The 3 air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So there's your trine. Okay. There's a harmonious connection here. Now, Libra, okay, is the sign that really is the one sign that is an inanimate object, okay? It's the scales. It's always balancing everything out. It's the person we go to. It's the person that I find Libras really have this way of calming you down, of getting you to look at things from both sides of the coin. They kind of have this easy, cool way about them. So being with a Libra, and they can be your best friend, okay? Libras can be your best friend. And that's one thing that's really strong. Also, Aquarius. Aquarius is another air sign. And they're very like your best friend, okay? Also, because anytime you have relationships that are stimulated by the mind, you have great conversations, you understand each other on a different level, you want to talk. And so it would be hard to possibly get over that if you have developed that really strong friendship that both the Libra and the Aquarius really offer. And so a lot of times in relationships, it's, maybe one element isn't working, but often, there's other elements in relationships that do work. And so sometimes when you think you get focused on one negative thing, and then, if you're away from that person, a lot of times you start remembering, oh my gosh, all the good things. Okay, so really, we have to look at all of these things. So I hope that was helpful. Let's see what else we have here. Hello, Mom. I've got all my friends and buddies coming on. Awesome. You guys are awesome. Let's see. Aries and Scorpio. Ooh, what do you guys think? Aries and Scorpio. I think that's a little bit of an intense relationship, okay? Let's just look at why. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars, okay? So it's aggressive. It's just like in your face. It's like right there, act now, think later, okay? They want to get out there. They want to try it. They'll get in the front lines. They're positive. They're energetic. They're very verbal, very communicative. They like to lead. And they have to be on the go all the time. They need that constant stimulation to handle the strong, fiery energy that they embody. Now, let's look at the Scorpio. Scorpio is also ruled, it's got a co-ruler, Mars and Pluto. When you have Mars and Pluto together, Pluto really takes things down into the underworld. It's more private, it's more quiet. Mars by itself in Aries is fiery and it's out there. But Pluto and Mars together make a whole different combination, a different connection. So Scorpios, they don't really want to necessarily be out there. They like to sit back and they like to kind of watch what's going on. They like to observe. They love psychology, so they love to read body language. They tend to not want to lay all their cards on the table or tell anybody what they have going on. They're much more mysterious. I think they're quieter in the way that they move. They really don't mind being alone or in their little, sanctuary that they create. And so that combination might be kind of difficult. Now, I'm not saying that any of these combinations like don't work. Anything can work if you understand the dynamics. And again, in a relationship reading, I'm looking at a whole chart. So there may be other elements in that chart that make that relationship so strong. Okay, so those of you in astrology know that there's a lot more to this. But at the same time, just teaching the basic elements here tonight, I would say Aries and Scorpio are quite different. Okay, and they would have to really communicate a lot to find a balance. Okay, so there you go on that. I hope that was helpful. Let's see, what else do we have here? Comment from Carrie. Aries and Scorpio is very intense. A Scorpio broke this Aries heart, smashed it to smithereens. Aw. Yeah, you know, Aries are a little bit, they have more of a childlike heart. And I don't want to say they're naive, but they do kind of believe the best in people and they want to. And a Scorpio is much more in tuned and much more calculated. And they're like 5 steps ahead of everybody. So when they say something, it goes right through the heart. I mean, it's very, penetrates right through, good or bad. And so a lot of times Aries, they're not, that's too much for them. They just want to know what's up right now and move on. Okay, so see what you guys think about that. I see that, Deborah. Okay, come on. Let's see what else you guys got here. Let me look. Are we having fun? I'm having fun. I've got the one question about Aries, and I've talked about it before. When you get the same sign, there can be some really positive things. You kind of understand each other on such a deep level. Like being a Virgo, my mom's a Virgo, and I have other friends that are Virgos, and we just have this funny little sense of humor that only Virgos have. It's this funny little sarcastic, kind of critical, but, use our hands, mimic things, make fun of things, And so being around that, I absolutely love that part of it. But, Virgos being so critical and so intense and so perfectionistic, too many in one room can be very difficult, right? Because everybody has their way of thinking. Same thing with Aries. You've got this playfulness, this fun. Let's go, let's create, let's build. But then at the same time, Aries kind of like that constant little bit of that, like goats butting each other in the head and keep creating a little bit of, a little bit of stimulation there, a little bit of constant little arguing, but more fun. Now that can turn in, because they're both fire signs, into two big fires. So it's, again, understanding each other and knowing that, if it, Aries likes to have the last word. So if you've got 2 Aries, somebody's got to give in. Somebody's got to let the other person have the last word, right? So just stuff like that is what you would have to think about and deal with. So let's see what's going on. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. There's a lot of people in here tonight. I have to scroll these things, so I hope you guys don't mind. It takes a second to do that. If anybody has any questions, please send them my way. Ashley, what's a Libra's best match? That's a good question. What's a Libra's best match? Well, I think we have to kind of look at a lot of different things when we look at that. The first thing I like to look at is, in any sign, what's the opposite sign? So for Libra, the opposite sign is Aries, okay? Now, why does Libra and Aries work? Why can it work? Well, it can work because Libra really wants somebody strong that knows what they want to do, that, gets after it. Libras struggle a lot with constantly trying to make those decisions and often not doing anything or holding back and missing opportunities because they're constantly thinking about it. So when you take a Libra and an Aries, you've got this Aries kind of pushing along a little bit more. Now, the Aries might be frustrated, though, with the Libra because they don't want to really sit and think about it all too much. They'll think about it for a minute, but they want to do it. They want to try it. I want to figure it out later, you know? So at the same time, though, they bring each other great things. Libras, I also like with Pisces. Libra and Pisces are very creative. Pisces being very emotional. The Libra is very helpful in keeping them, you know, thinking about things and balancing out, not overreacting. Very creative together. If you see a Libra and a Pisces, they're going to have this home and it's going to be, you know, music in the background and candles and, you know, kind of try to create this strong home effect. Both are very musical and creative. The Libra likes to communicate and talk, though. So they also need someone that likes to talk, okay? So Pisces can sometimes get a little bit broody or kind of just to themselves and not want to talk. They go up and down. So just thinking about these things together. If there's any Libras out there and you want to share what sign has been the best for you, we'd love to hear about that. Let's see what else. Okay, we have a Sagittarius and a Cancer. That's a very good question. And the Sagittarius is, again, now we have this fire sign, okay? Sagittarius is always thinking about the future. They kind of have their mind always into what's going to happen next. It's ruled by Jupiter. So everything can be this big vision. They have a hard time being content sometimes where they are because, again, they're in this dream world. They're always wanting more adventure. How big, how far can they go? And with a Cancer is going to want to be a little bit more of a homebody. Cancer wants to be home. Cancer wants to have dinner ready. Cancer really wants to have this secure place that they are. And Sagittarius wants adventure. They want to jump in the car and take off for days on end. They want to go on vacations, they want to travel, okay? Often Sagittarius needs to be on the go all the time. So you've got the fire in Sagittarius, you've got the water in Cancer. So the water in Cancer is more emotional, but at the same time, like we talked about before, we've got water and fire. So what happens with water and fire element? Okay, so, you know, when you think about a fire, you know, the water could put that fire completely out. Cancer sometimes can be more emotional and needy, where the Sagittarius really doesn't. They want to go. They want to be kind of light and easy and have that backpack. So the good thing about it is they bring a lot of creativity together. They bring a lot of sensitivity. The Cancer really helps the Sagittarius to be more grounded and think about home and have that place. But I think it could be kind of a struggle because we've got a real strong home element and then we've got an adventure. So, you know, finding the middle ground there. Okay, so it's a good thing, but you have to work a little harder at it. Okay, so thank you, Brianna. I appreciate that. She likes hearing my perspective, so I appreciate that. Let's see. It's a little longer question here. I'll try to read it from Brianna. My on and off again Scorpio girlfriend and me, a Taurus, have been on and off for 4 years, and we just can't seem to let each other go. We make each other crazy, but we just can't live without one another. And that is a perfect example of the power and strength. Again, we have the opposition, Scorpio and Taurus. It's the opposite. Both holding on. Both don't let go. Tauruses really can be hoarders almost and hang on to everything that means something to them and they value, and they don't let go. They love what they love. And if you're in that love, they are holding on, okay? They're very powerful about those that they love. Same with Scorpio. Once they've opened up emotionally, it's hard for them to let go as well. And so, but at the same time, anytime you have a relationship with Scorpio, you're going to see this more as a plutonic relationship, is what we call it. So this has a lot more intensity, emotional. Like you said, you drive each other crazy. You probably have those big, fights, and then you make up later. It's kind of love hate. Those are things that can happen, in these more intense relationships. But again, they need each other, and they have what? The water and the earth element, which makes mud. There can be strong healing here, healing power. So I would just say, know what you're in, understand what you're, the more you understand the other sign, the more you can really understand what it's going to take to make that relationship work. And can you be that person? Can you give that? Sometimes things happen in relationships and we just keep trying and trying, but they need something we may not be capable of giving. Is that going to be, that one thing that keeps the relationship together? You know what I mean? Is it a deal breaker? There's some things that are deal breakers. There's some connections that just really, it's like two magnets when you do it the opposite way, right? So, understanding each other is so important. Often, and I get a lot of relationship readings, and it usually starts out, these are the things my partner does, and I don't understand them, and they don't give me these certain things. And so when I begin to look at the chart, I might see somebody that is not as emotional or is a workaholic or all of these things. And so they may not be capable within themselves to give that. At the same time, though, they may be capable to give all kinds of other things. And is that going to be, we all have to juggle those things. We all have to work with each other. And a lot of times, things that we think that are somebody else isn't fulfilling for us are things that we need to fulfill for ourselves. Be that whole person. If you are that whole person and you want a healthy relationship, you have to be that healthy person, because we do attract what we are. We attract where we're at. Some relationships, when they're attracted or they meet in the beginning, again, like I've talked about the different relationships, let's just say a Neptunian relationship, okay? Just go with me here if you're not sure what that means. But that type of relationship is going to be the love at first sight. It's going to be the, oh my gosh, I've never met anybody like this. The one that just blows you away. You can't even see straight. All you can see is the good and how they make you feel. But often in those relationships, it's so incredible in the beginning. But then about 6 weeks later, when the real stuff starts coming out, it can be a huge disappointment, where it doesn't have to be. If we're mature enough to understand, boom, we had this huge dynamic. But now, just like it says, the honeymoon is over. There are honeymoon periods. And the universe gives us those things. Or, maybe we never get together, So we have these moments where we meet and the energies are flying and the, connections are happening, the synastry, all of those things. But then, are you mature enough and capable enough that as the relationship goes forward to then work on the real stuff, the everyday stuff? Okay, so that, I don't know. That's just a thought I had there. Let's see here. It's easy to hang in there. Let's see what other questions. Hello, Claudia. Aloha. Where are you guys coming from tonight? I'd love to hear where you guys are coming from tonight. Hello, Troy. Let's see. Am I a Cancer or a Gemini on the 21st? Mom, you are actually on the Gemini side, but you are on the cusp. So when you're on the cusp, you can share both qualities of the sign. Some people believe that, if you're on the side of Gemini, then that's all you are. You're not going to share into the next sign. I personally don't believe that because I think energy is always moving forward. There's not really a stopping point and a beginning point. It's like all blending constantly. And so you may be a Gemini, but being on the cusp on the 21st, again, you're going to share a lot of Cancer qualities. So the Gemini is the communicator, is the one that has so many interests, the one that's out there communicating, loving to talk. And the Cancer is that mama bear. The Cancer is mama bear where you have, your children are everything, and you're constantly trying to create this security and safety for your children. You can live, Cancers often just live for their families and kids in a sense that they're, the most important thing. Okay, so knowing you, I know that you do have both qualities. So that would be a few thoughts on that question. Okay, let's look at Instagram. We have New York, Florida, Arizona. Awesome, you guys. Where else do we have anybody coming from? Hello. Let me take a look here. If you guys want to know about two signs, just put those two signs down so I can see them. Let's see here. I'm going through Instagram. Where else? Let me see. Hang in there. I want to get a question out to you guys. I see all of you guys have joined, but I've already answered some of those questions. So let me see who else is on here. Where are you guys coming from? Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to catch a question here. There's so many different discussions, so that's kind of cool. Hello from Brazil. So that's really cool. Okay, we've got a question about Capricorn and Libra. Okay, so that's kind of an interesting energy, wouldn't you say? Now, there's also what's considered a square. So any signs that are 3 signs away, okay? It's 90 degrees and it's 3 signs away. That's considered a square. And a square is a lot of tension. Okay, a square is where you have 2 people coming together. It can be a great thing, but they're so different that they're constantly triggering each other. There's a lot of trigger that goes on. Okay, so let me give you guys just maybe a quick thought here on the square. So if you're a Libra, Capricorn, Aries, and Cancer are going to be what's considered in that square. Okay, so Libra and Capricorn have a square. Libra is much more laid back. Yes, wants to have the good things in life, but also wants to enjoy life, go out, be social. They need to be social. They need to be in groups. They love to be in, all kinds of different groups and, people getting together. Where Capricorn is going to be a little bit more solitude. And again, they're going to be working all the time. So getting a Capricorn to get their mind off of work, right? How about you Capricorns out there? Am I right? And, go out and have a good light time with a Libra. That's going to be a little bit of a struggle. But again, a square is good in the fact that it brings your people together in a way that says, you know what? I really want to work on that. I really admire what you have, and I want that. Something I just struggle having. And so if you understand a square, you can use that together to really help each other overcome things. Okay, so that's just a few thoughts on Libra and Capricorn. Hi, Donna. That's really awesome information. Thank you, Josh. Okay. Aries, Sagittarius. Okay, now we have our fire signs. Again, I'm just giving a little education as we go. So our fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Okay, So a lot of times we say, that again in that trine that fire signs do really well together, earth signs, and they can, because there is this kind of sister-like or brother-like energy that you understand each other. But Aries and Sagittarius got a lot of fire, okay? They both like to go. They both like to travel. The Aries is going to be a little bit more intense and a little bit more focused on what they want, because they kind of have that mission. Even though they're all over the place, they really know they want to climb that mountain. So success is important to them. Sagittarius is one of the luckiest signs of the zodiac because it's ruled by Jupiter, but they kind of always are kind of reaching for something else. Like, not to say they're not happy where they are, but often a Sagittarius is, they've accomplished something, but they're already thinking about the next thing of what they want to do. They have a hard time staying in the moment. Okay. But I think having fun and doing things, fire signs, they have a lot of fun together. They have big smiles. They have fun. Now, Sagittarius can be very sarcastic. When they joke and tease, it's like they are so quick. And that little sarcasm. And sometimes Aries is a little more sensitive when it comes to that. They don't like to be, someone to be sarcastic with them or to joke about them or hurt their feelings. They do get kind of, pissed off basically quickly. So you have to work on, those type of dynamics. But I think you get your fire signs. What other signs have we not? Okay, Leo and Scorpio. Okay, I was just saying, what have we not? Leo and Scorpio. So here we have another square. Okay, so a square for a Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. You guys are all in this square. Okay, so if you're one of those signs, the signs I just said are going to be your more difficult signs. So when we look at Leo and Scorpio, we have this fire again that wants to get out there. They want to get out there. They want to be in the limelight. They want to be in the public. And Scorpios often, again, even though they're involved and they're connecting with things, they like to really be on the sidelines because psychically they're absorbing. Psychically they're absorbing all of the feelings. And so water signs really kind of need the space in whatever they're doing. They don't, because they're taking in so much information that then they have a hard time just jumping out there. Where a Leo is just, Leo is the envy often of the zodiac because it's ruled by the sun. And they're the party. So, it's like you're having a party and it's not a party till the Leo shows up. Another dynamic in this relationship we might want to look at is Leos also can be very controlling. Some people say bossy, but they are leaders. They're politicians. They're very strong. They can run a full-blown business, or they're the managers. They're the boss. So they are pretty intense on what they want. They've got that diva quality. So sometimes for the Scorpio, that's like, that's too much. I'm not interested in all of that stuff. I'm over here more researching deep real life stuff. So one example of a movie that I like to use as an example for Leo Scorpio is The Bodyguard. Have you guys ever seen The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner? How many of you guys out there have seen The Bodyguard? Well, The Bodyguard is a story. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie. Of course, the late Whitney Houston, she was this superstar musician, and she was out there. She was, rising to the top in her music, in her industry, in the movie. And all of a sudden, she starts getting, because she's a light, she starts getting some kind of stalker that's following her, okay? So again, if you're out in the limelight like a Leo or these fire signs, what happens with the light? You often attract things that are trying to feed off of that light, that don't have that light. And so that can happen. And in the movie, Kevin Costner was her bodyguard. And he was in the background watching everything and watching all the people and trying to protect her. And she didn't like it because he was always telling her what she had to watch out for. And she didn't want to be scared all the time, because Leos want to experience life. They don't want to let fear dominate them, whereas Scorpio will be more cynical, more cautious, looking at everyone's intentions. So this is kind of a hard relationship at times, but at the same time together, again, it could be pretty dynamic. So anybody out there have a Scorpio-Leo relationship? Does that make sense? Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Greg. I love your show. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. This has been so much fun on Wednesdays, and just being able to come out here and meet you guys and talk to you guys. And I hope that you guys are learning what I'm trying to share. Astrology, like I said, can go much, much deeper, but we have to understand the basic elements. So understanding each sign and the themes that they play can help a lot. Okay, so let me, I'm just going to scroll here a minute. Let's see. Let's see. Chris, anything you can do, I can do better. What is that referring to? Is there two signs that's referring to? That sounds like two Aries. Let's see. Hello, you guys. I'm just scrolling a minute. Okay, let's see. Anybody else? What other signs have we not? I feel like there's signs we've not connected to. What about our Gemini? Where's our Geminis out there? Gemini relationships. What are we looking at? Again, let's look at the basic of the Gemini, what their operation is. How do they operate? Well, the Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet that's closest to the sun. Okay, so when we look up in the sky, there's the sun and there's Mercury, the closest to the sun. And the sun is the drama. It's the big show. It's the, it's the theater. It's what's happening. And Mercury loves to, stay close to the sun because they're like the journalist. They're like writing notes. They're writing stories. They're taking in all the information around them. They're not necessarily wanting to be the big star or the big top dog, but they're very, very, they put so much into the work that they do. They're great writers. Geminis have a really good, they're good with math. You see a lot of gambling or, card playing, or Geminis, Mercury's kind of the trickster. So Geminis like a lot of games and stuff like that. So it's ruled by Mercury. Now they're air sign. Okay, so what trine do we have with the air signs? We have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So they want to talk a lot. So, they want to communicate. That's how they work through what's going on inside. They're thinking faster than anybody. Sometimes Geminis will even talk to themselves because they have so much going on up there that they have to sort it out. So the good thing is, though, they're exciting. They know a little bit about everything. They want to have fun. They want to be around the fun. Okay, you see school teachers here. They kind of have that young, almost youthful quality, kind of high schoolish, meaning they stay young forever. They like to be in the know. They're good, they know all the gossip. You want to know something, call your Gemini. They know all the details. So again, the opposite sign for Gemini is Sagittarius, the fire sign. So how about you out there? If there's any Geminis, what's been your best combination with another sign? The signs that are sextile to a Gemini would be Aries and Leo. Okay, so those are good relationships. Again, the opposite is Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is more like the professor, and Gemini is more like the high school teacher, so to speak. They're more community orientated. They love their communities. They like to be involved in them. When their kids go to school, they kind of know what's going on, PTA, what have you. Where Sagittarius is more of your professor, right? They're really more out there looking at the big picture. So the difficult part of this opposition would kind of be, almost an argument of who knows what. Sagittarius can be a little bit of the know-it-all because they kind of do know it all. They study all kinds of different philosophies and cultures, and so they're very, very studied. And Gemini also, but Gemini's more, they know a little bit about everything, whereas Sagittarius can really get into a deep philosophical study, religions, things like that. So bringing those two together and the education and the ability to communicate on so many subjects, I think could be really awesome. Okay, but again, there might be tension there in that opposition of, neither one of them want anyone to really up them or tell them more than what they know. So I don't know. That could be a little bit of a strain there. So who is the best for Gemini? I think Gemini and Leo have a really strong connection because, again, we have Mercury in the sun, and it is a sextile. The other air signs, Libra and Aquarius, are going to be good signs for communication. Gemini gets really bored easy, too. So they're like a little butterfly, and they got to flutter around and stuff. So you don't want to put a Gemini in a relationship with somebody who's very controlling, or who doesn't want to flutter around. That could be a lot of struggle there. And so either that other sign is going to give them that freedom. But again, any sign that's a little too controlling may not be good for a Gemini. Okay, so that's a few thoughts on that. Let's see here. Instagram. Let's see. Thanks for explaining the square. Yes, you're welcome. Again, if you want me to kind of go through it a minute, let's go through it a minute for each kind of what signs are squared, so you know what other signs are going to be more tension for you. Okay, so Aries, the fire signs, also considered cardinal signs. Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. Okay, there's that square. There's that tension. All right. Taurus is going to be Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay, so those four signs kind of have this tension. It's kind of like putting them all in a meeting, in a job situation. And you've got all these four different dynamics. They're all four so powerful, and they all four have something to say. But at the same time, they've got that little argument going on. It's hard for them to come to an agreement. So you got a little bit more of that going on. Gemini is going to be Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Okay. If Virgo and Sagittarius, for example, are in that square. So why would that be difficult? Well, Virgo is much more detailed. They want to think of every detail they need. It's like before they make a project or go do something, they're going to write down that list of everything. They're going to plan. They're going to plan the time. How much time does it take to do it? When can I do it? Whereas Sagittarius, again, they've got the big dream, but they're not interested in the details. We'll figure it out later when we get there. And so that's a lot of tension between two. One that wants to have it all figured out, who's not comfortable jumping off the cliff, right? And the other one that, puts the parachute on and jumps off the cliff and figures it out later, So, again, just understanding each other. Let's see, who else? And I think I've covered all of them. Did I cover all of them? Let me know if I didn't there. Let's see. Cool. You're welcome. I'm glad you guys love this. I'm glad you guys are getting something out of this. This is a lot of fun. Let's see. What other relationship dynamics do we have? Let's see. So we just talked about Sagittarius and Gemini. Okay. So again, they are the opposition. They have a lot to bring together. But, at the same time, they're a little different. So I think we're getting close to the end of our hour. Don't forget that, liking and sharing, and, visit me at Crystal Lynn Astrology. Message me. Again, if you have won a free reading and you have not been notified, please message me over there, because that's where I'm getting everybody's information. Just say, hey, I won, because it is hard for us to actually, reach out to everyone because of the way this is set up. So we need you guys to come to us and say, yes, I won. And then I will be scheduling things for next week, okay? And we'll be doing some fun readings together. So that will be good. And again, if you want more information in the future, or if you want to get a reading, I have a couple different offers right now. I have a full 1 hour intense reading, or I have a 15-minute reading that I audio reading that I answer your specific questions. And I send this audio reading to you, and something you can keep. You can listen to as many times as you want. And it's a fun way to get started. So I really believe that readings can be life-changing. I know that a lot of people, are afraid to make that financial investment in a reading. But I'm telling you, when you're at that point in life where, you need that support, that encouragement, that validation, you're making those decisions, and you just, a reading, an astrological reading can be so incredible to help you know you're right where you're supposed to be, help you map it out, help us look at the transits ahead, and give you a little bit of peace of mind that you're on the right track. Okay, so thanks, you guys. Again, I really appreciate everyone coming out, and we will see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. live at Crystal Lynn Astrology. All right, you guys, have a good night.